Hello, this is your principal, Mr. Garrett, and I want to take a few minutes to go over something that's going to be taking place over the course of this year, and those are informal classroom observations. Now, chances are, if you've been a teacher before, you know what this process is about, but because I'm new to the school, I wanted to explain a little bit more um, why we do these informal classroom observations and also what you should expect, what you'll be evaluated based on, and also to get you to understand that, well, maybe these informal observations are nothing to incredibly stress out about. So we'll go ahead with that then. And we'll start out with why do we do these informal observations in the first place? Well, I could give you a very simple example of an answer just saying that it's the law, meaning that I have to do these evaluations. However, from a logistical or a realistic standpoint, this is really one of the few times that I actually get to enter into your classroom and see what your teaching strategies, what your teaching styles are all about. So this is actually something that I greatly appreciate being able to do as a principal, and it's able to be a great way to provide you with feedback in the teaching profession, and perhaps if needed to be ways that we can improve what we're doing a little bit. Now, a little bit about what to expect. Um, I'm going to be using a Google form whenever I evaluate your classrooms for these informal evaluations. The beauty of Google Forms is that they're able to offer incredibly quick feedback to you. In fact, I can enter in your email address, and as soon as I submit the form, it'll be directly sent to your email. So you'll be able to check out how your quick evaluation went. Now, if I'm in your classroom, usually this is something that is impromptu, meaning you won't know when it's going to happen ahead of time, but I'm only going to be in your room for about 15 or 20 minutes or so. And another point is that this observation, the evaluation is based specifically off of your OTES rubric, which is great because this is something that we're all used to seeing on a regular basis. And if you look at this slide right now, you'll notice the right side that says accomplished. This is actually how I'm going to be evaluating you. And you might be a little intimidated by this, but there's really no reason to do so. In fact, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. If there's an area of the rubric that you were able to do, I want to make sure you get credit for it, even if perhaps it was something that wasn't showing up in the skilled or developing column. If it's something that's in accomplished, I want to make sure that that box gets marked on your evaluation. So, what type of information is going to be collected to start out this Google form? Well, just logistical things like the date, my name, your room number, your subject area that you're teaching, and also when the walkthrough is going to begin and end. And then that'll take us into really those different topics that you're actually going to be evaluated on. And what you're going to be seeing here is the titles of these slides are going to bring up what section of the Google form or the evaluation it's a part of. And then the left hand column is actually, those are going to be check boxes on the Google form that I'll just simply be able to click the box if you were able to successfully do that. And the right side is simply showing the OTES rubric for that section, especially the accomplished section. And what you're going to find out is that these wordings or the terminology for it are verbatim. They're almost exactly the same, which is great because it's able to align well with what the state of Ohio is looking for when it comes to these informal evaluations. So the first topic is lesson delivery, and I'm going to do my best to not just read directly off of the slide. I don't want to insult your intelligence because I know that you have the capacity to read. So I might offer some suggestions of things that maybe would be nice to see uh, as an example for filling in some of these check boxes. So first, for lesson delivery, I want to see whether or not you have great explanations for students, if you have individualized and appropriate strategies, and also you're able to have good questions and discussions for the students. And now, something I would recommend doing would perhaps be trying to scaffold your instruction, and also, as it says on the bottom point here, making sure the instruction is very student led as well. Um, but this is really how you're able to perform as a teacher when it comes to the lesson in those 15 to 20 minutes that I'll be in there. Are you able to help students when they're in need and clarify when needed? Similarly, here we have our second topic, which is differentiation. And this is something that I believe very strongly in as a principal, and something that definitely needs to be taken seriously, on a daily basis in your classroom. But for this, I'm majorly concerned with how you're able to meet the individual needs of students in the classroom. Now, as you see on the bottom point here, that includes if you can have independent instruction, collaborative, or whole class instruction as well. This could be difficult to do in just a small segment that I'm in the classroom, but something that maybe doesn't take that long that would incorporate individual, collaborative, and whole class instruction would be to do like a short think, pair, share activity. What a great way to differentiate on that way. And also challenging students at their individual needs. And realize that this can be done in a variety of ways. If you're basing it on the data, you can differentiate based on learning styles or interests or student reading levels or ability levels. You can differentiate the process of your lesson or the product, meaning like what they're accomplishing. So a variety of ways that you can make sure that differentiation makes it as a part of your lessons, really on a daily basis, but also for the sake of these informal classroom observations. The next topic is going to be with resources. This is the shortest topic to fill in on the Google form, but really it's all about your materials that you're using. Are they helping with the instruction? Are they appropriate to the ability levels of the students? And are they engaging? And as a principal, one thing that I really like to see that is pretty easy to incorporate to these variety of means would be the use of technology, right? Especially we're at a school where every kid has a Chromebook, so it's very much an open door as to using technology in ways that can be engaging and appropriate for student learning. So that takes us into classroom environment. Here, I want to see basically how do you interact with students? Do you show rapport to them? Are you respectful? If they're having questions, are you helpful? Do you have a regular set routine when this is happening as well? All right, and continuing on with that, is this a strong learning environment? Are things set up so that students feel comfortable? Are things very time oriented? The one thing that would be very tricky on here to do in a 15 to 20-minute segment would be trying to show how volunteer community uh, involvement is happening within this random lesson. However, if it's something that is able to be accomplished, I'd love to check this off on the box. Um, Also, for classroom environment, dealing with management, I love to see behavioral expectations, whether that's our PBIS program, being able for students to show that they understand that, and also that they take responsibility and that they want to abide by those behaviors as well. Continuing on, we get into assessment of student learning. A lot of this has to do with being data driven. Maybe this is something that you're able to check for student understanding. Maybe this is as simple as like, hey, do you guys have any questions? Or, hey, thumbs up if this makes sense to you. Or, hey, let's complete this exit ticket with the last few minutes that we have of class. Ways to show that the students are understanding the knowledge. Additionally, how are you able to adapt materials or make adjustments when necessary within a lesson? Obviously, things don't always go according to plan, but how can we make changes that are going to help and fuel student learning? Similarly, are we able to provide feedback to students? Now, this would be hard for the families and the school personnel piece on here for feedback, but once again, if that was able to happen within the lesson, I'd like to give you credit for that. And then lastly, for adjustments when necessary, are students self-evaluating? A good way to do this would be using a rubric within your classroom for students to check in and see how they're doing and be able to perform at a higher level because of that. To end out the survey, there will be a place where I can put in additional comments and also maybe tie in some specific aspects of your lesson. And if need be, I can also offer recommendations for how you can improve upon the teaching in the future. And then also, I'd love to meet with you within 24 hours or the 1 or 2 class days. That'd be wonderful if I could do that with you. But lastly, just want to say that, hey, these informal observations are nothing to stress out about. You got this. And let me know if you have any questions as it relates to these informal evaluations. But thank you very much.